Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and whatever else is watching. My name is Nick and we are playing once more Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. In the previous episode we had, well, both some free time and we also saw things already escalating into murder. And to be precise, it was Sakura's death, one of our friends, the big, well, everyone calls her a behemoth, and she was the ultimate martial artist where everyone would be actually really scared of. However, it went so fast that I decided to put those parts into one video. Usually I try to cut up my videos into 5 parts for each chapter. I consider 5 parts for each chapter. First one is the introduction to the chapter, which often involves exploring the new area and getting the story of the chapter going. Second part is some free time, where you can spend some free time with the friend of your choosing and have a little bit of additional story elements happening. Then the third part would be escalating into the murder, where a lot of story actually happens again, which eventually ends up discovering the body of our next friend. I did not expect Sakura to be this time, however, well. Then eventually the fourth part is the investigation, and the final part is the class trial with a small outro. I keep that with the class trial because the outros are often way too short to be their own video again. So hence I stick those parts together. This time Sakura was murdered and I didn't expect that one. I had actually thought she would be later, however, because she was revealed to be the spy the previous chapter, I had hoped they would lead that up into the next chapter for a little bit. And well, probably give us some time to get acquainted to her. I had expected she would be one of the longest lasting members because, well, she's a martial artist, she can take care of herself. And however, I'm a little bit sorry that I didn't get really to know her that all too well, because, well, the chapter didn't allow for it anymore. She was unavailable for most of the time, and that one time that we did have her available, it wasn't an actual part that added to the report card for her. So it's a little bit sad about that. However, that's it, because in the previous chapters, or better yet, in chapter 1 to 3, well, it's two and a half to 3 chapters I think I've already seen before. However, from this chapter on, I'm completely flying blind. I have no idea what is going to happen next. With the other chapters I still have some idea about what's happening due to a part of a let's play that I've seen prior, which also made me go for this. But now we are investigating this death, and well, let's see who has done it. Oh boy. I'd better check the Monokuma file before anything else. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. So there is, oh yeah, there is blood. However, it seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. Wait, the blood is over there. There is something on the ground behind her. And she's sitting right in the chair. Monokuma File 4 has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why is that?
So...
The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through. And that door had been jammed shut with a chair from the inside the rec room. Which means the killer would have had to escape somehow, after barring the door. So if the door was blocked from the inside, and there was no way in or out till we broke the window, there's like zero escape, right?
In other words, this is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life? And right before our very eyes, like this? Hey.
Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. First type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. Okay. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, then through some special method seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approach includes using a string or simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for that, all we'd have to do is check the door to see if that's what it was, right?
Correct.
The second type is when the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. Oh?
In other words,
basically the killer uses a special contraption or tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
However,
but in this case, that doesn't seem to fit. There are no guns or arrows in the school, and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we can probably cross that one off the list.
it's true.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it's opened up. What do you mean by that?
In other words,
they stay hidden, and when the door is opened, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. That sounds like it could have been possible, maybe.
it's true.
And the fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked room?
In other words,
By that I mean there actually is an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this a lot in novels and things, but in reality it's generally not possible. Then you think we can cross that one off too?
indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics. Oh, blah.
So when it comes to locked room mysteries, those are the basics. So there are 4 possibilities. Then Kyoko, which of those 4 seems the most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room. Until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. Kyoko said there were 4 possibilities for locked room mysteries, eh? And looking at this, it was locked on the inside. Seemingly, there's no gap in the door. But there was a chair pushed against the handle. That doesn't seem like it's with a rope or trick, because otherwise it would be a very thick rope or something. And how would it be sturdy enough to grab it that it can also slide it underneath? So then it's that the perpetrator is hiding in there? What's that? No. Hina got them all from outside, I think. But that is assuming. I have to check that. And the 4th one is that there is another exit. Well, with Monokuma, everything could be. So, yeah. We're gonna investigate this. Actually, something I said earlier this chapter. At the beginning, actually. I was thinking about if this game would go into suicide. That's the 5th option, because locked room mystery, the 4 options that Kyoko gave us actually only apply to the assumption that there is an actual murder. However, if the murderer and the victim are the same, so it's a suicide, that's also another option. Then there don't have to be an escape. Then Sakura could have locked the door. Oh god, I don't even want to consider that. That would be awful. She would have been driven so. Sakura drew her last breath, sitting slumped forward in this chair. Then again, what's the blood? There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. And yeah. But maybe it could have been that she had fell over. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she had also vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips, for sure. So what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Status of Sakura's body has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. What makes her vomit blood actually? Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood. Either that or... oh god. We had a chem lab full of poisons, didn't we? And we found her there once. Oh no, please don't tell me. Oh boy, this kind of looks like an open and shut case for her to have killed herself, but I'll keep an open mind. Byakuya could still have done it. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood. Not a chance. Byakuya?
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree? No, I don't call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. Huh. Well, yeah, we have this here, we have that here, we have blood over there. That also? And there's a canister over there. Okay, let's talk to the people first, shall we?
What the heck?
We already know who did it.
I won't forgive you.
Byakuya, Toku or Hiro. It had to be one of them. Yeah, but we still have to narrow it down to one name. Or otherwise we'll all be dead. They couldn't stand the sight of her. Again, you're jumping to conclusions. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here, in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me. She said she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon? The Monokuma file said she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I stopped her, by force even, this never would have happened. Oh, come on. Cheer up. Oh well, that's the wrong thing to say now. Because her best friend died in here. Well, her best friend for here. The one who always supported her. Ah, you can cry. Hina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. Aoi's account has been added to the truth bullets section of your handbook. But the fact that she had asked those three to meet with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying. It might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly. Kyoko, do you have something to say? But for Sakura to have been killed, yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight. And yet...
It's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind and spirit. Yeah. So, how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? Again. You're not telling me everything, are you? They must have taken her by surprise, right? Not when Sakura took her own life.
Certainly.
Certainly, they would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her. Byakuya, what do you have to say? What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So, you find out. Interesting. Then it's true. I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Well, she's sitting over there. Haven't you seen that? She's just sitting there in the chair? Or haven't you been looking? Byakuya says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. Damn, ass cave. Byakuya's account has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Okay, so we have blood over there. There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Magazine shelf bloodstain. Added to the truth bullet section. Okay. Well, this thing is open. Huh? The locker's open. And there's on the inside. It's a handprint.
Why?
What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and it left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. Wait. Did one of those three actually come here? Is it option number 3? That someone locked themselves inside and then showed up when the rest was here? So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locked room was opened, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Huh? Why not?
Hey,
Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that point.
indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Okay, that theory goes out of the window then. Yeah, so then, What does this handprint mean? Okay, that's crazy. That's really crazy. Now I'm doubting my suicide theory. Okay, we have... yeah. This part. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. It's a bottle. The glass is all red and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. Glass shards on the floor has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Huh? There's something else on the ground, near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. Figure on the floor that has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Is that? Wait. That's the same kind of figure. But this, it's missing one. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And it's missing one. And inside each bottle there is some kind of Monokuma figure. And 2 spaces are empty. We have a pawn, a rook, we have a bishop, and that's the king. So the knight, which we found on the floor, and the queen. Where is the queen? Where did queen go? What I'm wondering is, how to get those figures inside the bottle?
So...
It's no different from your standard chip in a bottle. Huh? You know where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You've never seen that. Oh yeah, maybe I have.
in other words...
So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. Monokuma bottle has been added to the truth bullets section of your handbook. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things little by little. The Monokuma bottle sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. Yeah, but how does she vomit blood from that? The same shelf full of magazines. There's all different kinds of magazines here. Huh. We have the clock. It's around 1 o'clock right now. According to the Monokuma file, Sakura died around 12 noon. So roughly an hour ago. Was that when Kyoko and I were moving alter ego? Did I miss something here? Yeah, except for the thingy on the floor here. It looks like some kind of wrapper.
Huh?
Ah, that's... Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well...
Oh yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little. So you gave that candy to Sakura? Sakura. I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like him. Really? With that figure, you donuts and candy and everything? Jeez! Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. You really like them that much? But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now they've lost all their flavor. Hina. Polka dot candy wrapper has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. So the final things are a little bit up. The chair was shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done to it. Okay. And what's this? There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance of the room. Protein X.
So...
It looks like a protein drink and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. And she mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
Wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can... It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me. Sakura mentioned how the chem lab had all kinds of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the chem lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange. Huh? What is it? Well, what is?
Hey.
You see what's scattered around the can. Shards of light blue glass. They must be parts of the window I broke to get inside.
Correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can. They're also underneath it. Does that mean there is more glass there than there is actually from the window? That there is also some other glass scattered around it? Why does that matter?
So...
I can't say for sure, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. Or this Chem A was put on the chair, and when we moved the chair it fell off and rolled on the glass. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. But there is a lot of glass there for just a single quarter part of the window. An important clue. I'm not sure I see how. Well, it might uncover some events. Anti-protein drink has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Okay, did I get everything then? Yeah, I've got the clock, I've got Sakura. Yeah, I got everything, I think. So that means I have to go outside. Let's see where those two knuckleheads are. Well, we've got them inside. Okay. No thing there. Hey, where did he go? Where did he go? Okay, I have to look for them the old-fashioned way. This door is the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window. And that window is a lot smaller than the number of glass that's lying underneath it. Which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of thing or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. And there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. There was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. Phew. So the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not from the outside. Has been added to the truth bullet section.
Listen.
Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Not entirely, because I would like to look at some other stuff as well. Yeah, I think so, for the most part.
So then.
And you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
Listen to me.
Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? Okay, but I would like to talk with you a little bit more after this, okay? She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right. I do have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. Oh, so now they might up showing on the map. No. No. Again, not. I hope they are just outside the door because I don't feel like looking through the entire building. Wait, what? Do I have to talk to her?
What the heck?
We already know who did it.
I won't forgive you.
The fact that she asked those three to meet with her and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying. It might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly. Okay, but I already talked to him.
Repeat myself.
Don't make me repeat myself. Yes, I did receive a note. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you really didn't go see her? Of course not. I wrapped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Okay, so now I have to talk to the other two. And for that, I need to leave. But they... Oh, wait. No. Those other two probably went back to their rooms. Okay. Are you sure about that? Let's check the map. I guess they did. Then let's check the rooms, shall we? Oh yeah, that was Sayaka's room. Toko! I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds... Again, this image. Huh? Who's there? The most negative aura I've ever felt. Negative Nancy is back again. An aura of total decay.
Well,
What?
what do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hallway.
What do you want?
What do you want? You said you wanted to talk to me about something. I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you. What?
Well,
I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me she had asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? Ah! I just said two, didn't I? Yeah. You did. And apparently you didn't even know about the other two. So that means you didn't go as well? Or, well? I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah. Pretty much. So can you tell me about it? I admit, I did get the note. But I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toku claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Did Genocide Jack go and see her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. With that, Toku quickly retreated into her room. You know, I actually want to go to the chem lab. Then, Sakura. What did you do? Yasuo. I pressed the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah, actually, I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you.
What?
How do you know about that?
Could it be?
Well, did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? No, Hina told me about it, and she heard it from Sakura herself. But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ugo told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toku to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that?
What?
Oh, well,
When
she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note.
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. Yeah, it is, but also I don't see him. Well, miracles do exist, although this would be a negative one. So then you went and met with Sakura?
You got it all wrong.
No way! I totally didn't! Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually,
The last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office. What? So she handed out the notes before Hina was hurt? I thought she handed out the notes because Hina got hurt.
don't look at me.
I haven't seen her since then. While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on.
Ah, sorry, looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big, goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Huh?
Huh?
Ah!
What?
Ah! Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again. And she shoved it back into his pocket.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out. Trash?
What?
Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you excuse me. Yasuhiro is the murderer, hey? But where did he get the intelligence to pull things of this kind of level mystery? Or am I overanalyzing it and I should be actually thinking on the level of a dumb idiot? Okay, this is starting to baffle me. Am I suicide? Well, I first thought Sakura suicided because of the situation she got in. But Hiro, you're kinda becoming really suspicious now. Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Pocket trash has been added to the truth bullets section of your handbook. Okay, so I've heard from Toku and Hiro. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again. But on top of that, maybe I should find out more about the protein can we found on the floor in the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So where should I start? Okay, I have control. And considering the map, I don't need to go there. Not even there. No exclamation. The rec room is one place and Byakuya seems to be gone. The chem lab and Byakuya seems to have gone over there. Let's start out there then. Let's go to the chem lab. Makoto, did you have your eye on the chem lab too? Well, yeah, the protein shake. Just make sure you don't get in my way. Yeah, I got it. I think what you meant to say was, yes sir, I understand. No, what I meant to say is, yeah, I got it. I know you want to be the take the shining spotlight, but seriously, we're fighting for our lives here. Because you're trying to do this on your own, and we have to believe you. Makes you rather suspicious, Byakuya. Man, I'm gonna see are they now Hiro and Byakuya are both actually. Man, the longer I'm going into this, the more confusing it becomes, this investigation. Okay, so did the chem lab have a monitor? I didn't want to know. Maybe I did. Let's look at the chemicals. This isn't my first time seeing the shelf, but I just can't get over how big it is. I should probably take a closer look at it. It looks like 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more importantly right now, what's that powder that's been spilled in front of the shelf? I have to be careful not to step in it. And yet someone did step into it. Okay. On this shelf is one look, and I can tell it's nothing but dangerous chemicals. Chem C something. These look like poisons and other powerful chemicals. Why would... All the containers on this shelf are labeled with the letter C and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit, section C. And then the protein must be there. So on this shelf is the Chem B stuff. It looks like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They're reagents. Put simply, they're used in experiments to bring about a chemical reaction. How have you lived in such ignorance for so long? It must truly be bliss. Seriously? I know what reagents are. Again, you tell others not to judge by their standards. And yet, you again judge others by your standard. Isn't that kinda harsh?
What?
What? You think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world? Actually, it has a lot of applications, so yeah, but we're still high school students here. Aren't we?
That's fine.
The words of a lifelong loser. Which, I suppose, suits you well. Oh, brother. I wish I could kick you. I didn't even say that. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right now, I need to focus on the shelf. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with the letter B and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section B. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. In which case, I don't think I have to worry too much about this shelf. Shelf A. Let's see what's on this shelf. I think that is where the protein shake came from. There are all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shelf. Hey wait, there's a C9 in between it. How come there's a C9 in between that? All the containers on the shelf are labeled with the letter A and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit, section A. But there is one completely wrong. That's a C9, that's a poison. But wait. There's one bottle here that's labeled Chem C9. Could someone have put it here on accident? I should try to find out more about this shelving unit. It looks like it's split into 3 sections. Section A has dietary supplements, Section B has reagents, and Section C has lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from Section A. But what concerns me is that in Section A there was a bottle with a label from Section C. What was a bottle of poison from Section C doing in Section A? There's definitely something going on there. Chem shelf has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Okay, now let's start here. C4. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all the powder came from? And it is C4. That's a poison. And if the powder becomes a little bit thrown up in a cloud and someone would inhale it, is that lethal? Oh boy, that could be lethal. So, accident? Yeah, but who locked the door then? It looks like the bottle had a label on it. Chem C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning, checking things out. And at that point, this room wasn't like this. Then this powder must have been spilled.
So in other words...
That's right. It could only have been around the time of the incident. If that really is when it happened, it must be related to the case somehow. Source of the powder has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Okay. Now the powder itself. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor. I better not leave a footprint. Yeah, but here there are footprints. There are footprints. And they're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? We may need to sketch out the floor plan. By we, do you mean me? Of course he means me, because he's too lazy to do it himself. How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk he handed me a piece of paper and a pen.
What?
Well, let's go. Chop chop. I want to punch that smirk off his face. I really want to punch him. Please. If I could go into a video game and punch someone, then this guy would be somewhere atop on the list. Unfortunately, I don't believe in violence, so okay. So I got to work, and before long I'd drawn up a sketch of the room. So how's this? Not bad. For you, I mean. Well, you could have done it yourself otherwise. If it's... You know what? That's why you asked me to do it. It would show your inaptitude. For me?
I see.
So, when you look at like this... Interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to do, and then left. That's what the footprints tell me. Yeah, actually they did. Maybe the footprints are from anyone else. Hina might have been.
I see.
These footprints must be...
It's certainly possible.
Makoto, are they yours? Does it look like I've been in here? Does it look like I am a chemist major? No! There is someone else. There were two people gushing over the vitamins and protein and everything in there. And those two do not include me. So stop it with that pointing, will ya? No!
What?
Okay, then let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself. I couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see, your feet do appear to be too big. If my feet are too big and Makoto is pretty much one of the smallest dudes in here, then the only one I can conclude that might even come to this size is Hina. Unfortunately, I must admit these are not your footprints. Unfortunately. But with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. Then these prints are a really valuable clue. I should probably take a good hard look at that powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor in front of the shelf. There are also the remains of a broken bottle. It looks like the bottle was labeled Chem C4. Also, it looks like someone left some footprints in the powder. Based on the positioning of the prints, however, it was only went to the left side of the shelf. According to Byakuya, the powder would have to have been spilled right around the time of the incident. That's all I can tell for now. Footprints in the powder has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. I've already taken a good look at the chem lab. Maybe I should take another look around the rec room. Okay. Do you have more to add?
I see.
Makoto, admit you have a good eye for spotting useful clues. But you also need to learn how to make use of those clues. Really? Okay, so why am I doing this? This is faster. Rec room. Missing a window, which probably will be restored. So, Makoto, how's your investigation going? I told Kyoko what Toko and Hiro had told me. I see, so along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. But it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying?
Anyway.
Well, I've made some progress of my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines and the Monokuma bottles. These three things have revealed new clues. You do well to look them over one more time. Seriously, can't you just tell us? It's faster and the class trial is approaching. Okay. The wrapper. I gave that to Sakura. She got super upset when she found out genocide. Okay, and she gave it after.
Just a second.
Just staring off into space isn't going to help you figure anything out. Well, yeah, I know, but
Hey,
don't you think you might need to actually examine the body? Yes, Makoto, that means you have to touch it.
whew,
There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. It's a kind of thing I've grown perversely used to. Although, there are still sometimes. I can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it.
it's true.
That's totally normal. Then how can you?
So,
I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. Really? Are you an investigator or had an internship or at a morgue or something? Medical examiner? What? Sorry, never mind.
hey,
More importantly, look here. That seems like the powder of the poison that I found upstairs. Her shoes.
correct.
You see that yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands out.
I see.
That powder is clue number 1. Yellow powder has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook.
Hey,
Next is the wound to her head. Look careful.
it's true.
Actually, I'm even telling you that. It's incredibly difficult to spot, so let me just explain.
It would seem...
It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead received 2 blows to the head. 2 blows?
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either of them.
It's true.
So that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. The examination summary has been added to the truth bullet section. I can't believe it. She was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. Okay. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair. Glass is all red, and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? Must have been originally a bottom, top, and on top of that, near the glass, Monokuma figure that fits in the palm of my hand. Okay. I think Kyoko said she'd found a new clue involving the Monokuma bottles. Something new, something new. Well, I'm still missing the queen.
Hey,
So, did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention, and you're sure to find it. Well, they are parts of chess pieces. A correlation. and they go from left to right to from lower to higher chess piece. Hey Kyoko, can't you just tell me what it is?
So,
I don't mind guiding you toward clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusions, so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? Yeah, I thought so. No answer. I do trust you to a degree, otherwise I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree. Monokuma bottle has been updated in the truth bullet section of your handbook.
hey,
Actually, there's one other thing about the Monokuma bottles that's bothering me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right? An experiment?
anyway,
Can you gather up all the pieces of the broken Monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces too. Okay, what's wrong with your hands? But okay, I shall help. Huh? Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that?
that doesn't matter.
I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine, and that obnoxious Byakuya's not here. So
then,
anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. While I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. With that, Kyoko left the room. Okay. I really don't know what this is about, but what choice do I have? I better just do it. I took the broom and dustpan and got to work, collecting all the broken bottle pieces. And just as I finished up... Sorry to keep you waiting.
so then,
Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. So what kind of experiment are we doing?
in other words,
I got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare weights. Weights? Compare the weights of what? The pieces of glass you collected. And one of the Monokuma bottles that's still intact. Why do you want to do that? That's the point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done. There is more glass on the left one, eh? Yeah, there's more broken glass than there is actually. First, let's compare the weight of two of the normal Monokuma bottles. It's balanced.
in other words,
Which means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same. Which makes sense. The Monokuma figures inside are basically the same and nothing else could really affect the weight. Well, one piece is a little bit bigger, so the pawn should be higher actually, because the bishop actually has more mass to it than the pawn.
so then,
Now here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up on the one side of the scale. Now, what might we expect to see? They are balanced or they are unbalanced? Unbalanced mean that there is more glass than there is in a single bottle. Well, a normal assumption would be either they're balanced out or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there.
So then,
Okay, then let's give it a try. Huh? The broken pieces are heavier? How is that possible? There's more than one bottle. Just as I thought. What?
in
The
other
results
words,
of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles, put it all together,
hey,
and I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So, what do you think? It's all on you? It's all on you. Monokuma bottle experiment has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Huh. New clues that Sakura's body revealed. Now further in step over.
indeed.
There's the wound on the head. Now clear that she suffered 2 blows to the head. And both of her heads were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one.
Right.
So that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. So nothing new. That means, do we have anything more? The locker's open, and there on the inside it's a handprint.
Why?
What's a handprint doing here? Looks like some inside, and it left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh too. Most likely someone was hiding here in the locker. And they left behind a little something extra. But there's no way the killer was in there. When we opened the door,
Hey,
think back, before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Yep. And this is the same.
indeed.
So it's impossible that someone could have hidden until after we opened. Yeah, so then handprint is still a mystery to me. Shelves. Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. A clue? Why is that one upside down? This magazine is upside down. Did someone put it back that way on accident? Well, maybe Hifumi had read that before he died.
Hey,
If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. I picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it. This is Toko. On one of the pages near the center of the magazine, a word had been written in bold, bloody letters. And it said Toko. Wait, this is getting more and more insane. Now Toko is also involved? First, Byakuya is very suspicious by not even wanting Kyoko involved in this. Then we had Hiro acting like a fool again in a very suspicious manner. And now we have this evidence. A dying message or a setup.
correct.
Then it would appear you found it. Kyoko, is this?
So...
It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. A dying message.
However...
Just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I made sure to put it back exactly as I found it, for the benefit of others who might come looking. Hey, is that? That says Toko, right? Yeah, it looks like it. Then, she's the killer, right? Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
I won't forgive
It's
you.
settled. She's the killer for sure. And again! Well, this time she's emotionally... Okay, this one time I'm letting it slide. But again, Hina, you're jumping to conclusions way too quick. That's conclusive evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer. Or it's a setup. I can see why you would think that. But it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that much more suspicious. Magazine dying message has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Kyoko did say that the body was spotless. So it's not something that... Or did she write it? It's not something that she left on her finger, so... Well, time to find out during the class trial.
Whoops! You caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake.
Really?
Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Can I? Can I? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
It's already time, but the mystery of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen at the class trial. And you know what? No, not whatever happens. I have to make something happen. And that means we are once more heading towards the class trial. Whew. It's not an easy one. This is definitely not an easy one. I thought I had figured it out before with the locked door and everything, but somehow we are having a little bit too much evidence. I got evidence that I did not expect to get. And it's thrown a lot of confusion. But who here is so smart to actually go through all of this? Who could lock a door from the outside? Who could take on Sakura like this by surprise? That she actually vomits out blood, but not have blood on the outside. Who can hit her twice with a bottle at the same place? And what about that poison in the Gem lab? think Hiro's suspicion is that he is an idiot. He went to see her, maybe got some candy from her, settled things alright, but is scared because he was the last one to see her alive. Byakuya and Toko, on the other hand, Toko might be set up, so I think Byakuya is the only one smart enough to do this, because he really wanted everyone out of the investigation. And I can't think that, well, he didn't mind me investigating, but that's because he thinks I'm not worthy of being here. Okay. Well, those are questions for the next time. I hope you enjoyed it, and I thank you all for watching. As we start, and next time we will go into class trial and find out who killed Sakura, and especially how she was killed, and how the room got locked. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!
Danganronpa.